Yes, we are live with the belt buckle. Today, we're going to help you pass a NASM CPT 2022, April 1st tomorrow. And no, this isn't a joke. I can get you to pass it. We've helped over 2,300 people pass this sucker. It's not hard to do when you focus on the study guide. We just had a call because part of our online internship, we help people pass this thing super easy. We have bi-weekly calls. So you get on the call, we tell you what to study, what to focus on. And it's like when I teach this stuff, because I taught this at NPTI for over 7 years, 3rd edition, 4th, 5th, 6th, and now the 7th bullshit. It's like a part of my soul is dying. It's like I feel like I'm a stripper, like I'm Magic Mike up there. My heart is just dying inside because I know I can get anyone to pass it, but when I'm going through it, it's fucking death. It is literally the worst information in the world, not scientific based. And if you could go to our Facebook page, is great because I have professors and kinesiologists, and I posted this program that they have on page 845. So this is the 7th edition. Check this out. Don't worry about that rocket ship down there, but you can see you have a 5x5 barbell squat. You're going to explosively lift that for 3-minute rest. That's not terrible. But then after that, you go into RDL 5x5. And then you have a leg press 5x5. And then wait for it, 5x5 calf raises. And so I think that with their investment board, because NASM's a profit organization, they don't give a shit. They're not in fitness. They're a marketing company. You got to remember that. So I think like their board, their investment in All the Angels, they're like, all right, your 7th edition's due tomorrow. And they're like, oh shit, we got to throw some programming together. We got to write this out. Like if you ever did this with a client, this is a quintessential program of how not to train, how not to program. People who wrote this are not fitness professionals, but I am, and I can get you to pass this. And so what we did is in our last class, we went through the OPT model. I just did a post on our blog. I take you through everything from phase 1, purpose of it, and this is me with my NASM hat on. So I'm super energetic to get you to pass this. If you really want to become successful, you got to read the book. That's what's going to help you be successful. Become a level 1 coach. When you're qualified, you make this into a career, whereas 90% of certified trainers who get this bullshit, they quit because they don't know what the fuck to do because that's their programming. So let me start with just helping you recognize little things on the test. So a squat, knee dominant, it's going to be more your quads. The agonist would be your quads. At the hip would be your glutes. Synergist, according to NASM, would be your hamstrings. Stabilizer would be your core, your TDA. RDL, that's a hinge pattern. It's going to be more your glute. Synergist would be your hamstrings. And then like for a push, the agonist, chest, synergist, triceps, stabilizers, rotator cuff. For a pull, back is the agonist. Synergist would be your biceps, stabilizer, your rotator cuff. Vertical push or military press, deltoids would be your agonist. Synergist would be your triceps. Rotator cuff would be your stabilizer. And the students were having a hard time recognizing the push and pull and the agonist and synergist. So hopefully that helps. The antagonist is just the opposite exercise. So if I do a military press, the agonist is here. The opposite antagonist would be this exercise concentrically. Remember, concentric is to shorten. I know you're a little upset that my shirt is on, so you can't see my giant arm form, but that is shortening concentrically. Shorten the muscle, the bicep brachii. Lengthen would be eccentric. The pro is the concentric. The negative is the eccentric. We develop most force concentrically. Eccentric is more neurological control. And so recognizing the main movers. And so when we look at it, this is a good exercise for you to do, is go through their shitty programming, but then look at the exercises. So for example, 841, absolutely terrible program for hypertrophy, but you can use this for an exercise to help you pass the exam. For example, a barbell bench press. Your mind should go chest and tri, stabilizers, your rotator cuff. The antagonist is the opposite exercise. So this, which would be more your posterior deltoids. Horizontal abduction would be your posterior deltoid, but NASM simplifies it. And so the rest period, 30 seconds, that would be your hypertrophy, or they call it your muscular development training. And so you want to make sure that anytime you see 0 to 30 seconds, it's always going to be hypertrophy. 0 to 90 would be phase 1. 3 to 5 minutes would be phases 4 and phase 5. When it comes to the tempo, we have 4-2-1-1, stabilization. 2-0-2-0, phase 3. XXXX, that's going to be phase 4 and phase 5. Your reps, 1 to 10 would be power, phase 5. 1 to 5, that's a heavy load. That's going to be phase 4. When you have 6 to 12, that's hypertrophy. That's going to be phase 3. And then 12, 20 plus is going to be phase 1. When it comes to we got the rest, we got the reps, we got the intensity. When it comes to the rest, we got that one. So the main focus on stabilization, anything on a fucking Bosu ball or stability ball, the best exercise in the world. Ready for it? You ready for this? Yeah. Okay, here we go. All right. We got to set ourselves up. Get your stability ball. There you go. Put it on the wall. Make sure not to fall. But you got to do your stability ball. Squat 4 seconds. Curl press. If you do this with a client and you're a trainer, you're a fucking idiot. This is stupid. You never do that. You're pushing back into the wall. That's not how you squat. Why? You're pushing down and up when you squat. So why would you want to teach people how to be like, all right, you're a basketball coach. Here's the hoop. What we're going to do is we're going to teach you to shoot like this. That exercise just tells me you have no idea what the hell you're doing if you're a strength coach or a trainer, but you got to know that for NASM. Anytime you see that, it's always going to be phase 1. Anytime you see a scaption or a ball combo or a prone iso ab, always phase 1. Phase 2 is a superset. Phase 5 is a superset. What that means in NASM vocabulary, and this is broken down in the blog on our website, shellfitness.com. What it means is a bench press into a push-up, a pull-up into a TRX row, a squat into a jump with stabilization, 3 to 5 seconds. And so when you can really just hammer through the OPT model, the test is super easy. 20, 30 minutes, you'll get through it. And afterwards, you're going to be like, I got this cool piece of paper. It's actually really flimsy. It's really cheap. What the fuck do I do now? Because they don't teach you how to be a trainer. Think about it. If you want to become a hairstylist, don't you think it'd be smart to cut people's hair? You just take a test and go out there, hey, I'm Edward Scissorhands, let me help you. No, you get repetitions with proper supervision. So that's what we need in fitness, and that's what we have. We have internships in person, online. You get to talk to professionals who've been doing this, who actually own gyms. NASM, where's your gym? Where is it, Hooker? I don't see it because they don't have any, because they're not trainers. It's a marketing company. You want to make this into a career. Learn from people who are doing what you want to do. Hands-on learning. We have weekend seminars. We will make you the best trainer out there. It's not a saturated market. It's saturated with certified trainers. You get our level 1 coach, you can get hired at any gym. Equinox, Lifetime, we put people all throughout there with our level 1. And more importantly, the recruiters, they want show-up trainers because we're qualified. They can take you through 17 muscles of the shoulder, 20 of the lower body. So when we teach you that, we have a lot of people come to the internship and it will prep them for the NASM because they don't go in depth on the 17 muscles. You just need to know what's overactive. So you're doing a push-up and your head falls forward. Well, this muscle's overactive, which is your sternocleidomastoid. No, and again, so when you look at those pages, it's a good exercise, as I highlight in the blog. Look at the cool down and the warm-up. Stupid, don't ever do it. But those are the muscles that are going to be overactive. TFL, your latissimus dorsi. At the end, TFL, latissimus dorsi. Pectoralis major, your calves, your pectorals. So you see these regularly. The 10 most overactive muscles, of which we foam roll and stretch, because if you don't, you die. You need to just memorize those. From the most distal inferior region, gastroc and soleus, your hamstring complex. On the lateral side would be your bicep femoris. Take your hand, put it behind your knee, you weirdo. Feel that guitar string. That is your bicep fem. It's going to extend the hip. It's going to flex the knee and externally rotate the foot. But that's a question they could ask you about overactive. When we go to the quads, the vastus lateralis is overactive. When we go to the hip, LPHC as they call it, your psoas major, you're going to have your erector spinae and your latissimus dorsi is overactive, sternocleidomastoid, your upper traps, and your pec major. Those are going to be your main overactive. Overactive, shortened, strong muscles that we need to calm down via autogenic inhibition. You hold for a good 20, 30 seconds and then you release the muscle because it's sensing tension, relaxes. Whereas muscle spindle is going to be the stretch. When you touch your toes, you know your nervous system sends a signal to the muscle spindle. Think of it like this. You have your myofilament and you have the spindle around there. So when you stretch, it's like this, you sense it. So the stretch is sending a signal to the nervous system not to go anymore. So if you hold that, stretch, same muscle, hold that for a good 30 seconds and it relaxes. And so you're going to get more quote unquote length there at that muscle that's tight. And then we want to strengthen the underactive ones. So that's going to be your anterior tib, which is the front of your calf, your VMO, which is your medial quad muscle, your glutes, your TVA, your mid-back, lower trapezius, mid-trapezius, rhomboid major, rhomboid minor, your deep cervical flexors. Forgot about the adductors being overactive. So make sure to check out that blog that I just posted. I take you through kind of like helping you navigate. This is what you need to know, but here's what the science says. So for example, phase 1 OPT model, it's been debunked. I put some citations in there that go to a scientific journal, and it shows you that it's just inferior. If you have a client that comes in like, Chris, I really want to fucking get on a stability ball and do some squats. Like, dude, Frank, let's do it. I will do it. But I don't program that in there just to have fun. I program what Frank's goals are: to get stronger, to get bigger, hypertrophy, whatever. Take the movement patterns: vertical push, vertical pull, horizontal push, horizontal pull, squat, hinge, unilateral, transitional. There's 8 of them. I take those and I distribute accordingly to the client's goals. I do a core pattern, then I do accessory. Accessory, you have fun with. Do that for 3 rounds, and then you go to the next circuit. So our programming really simplifies your life so then you don't have to freak out as much. Because what happens is with trainers, you have this imposter syndrome because you don't know what the fuck you're doing. You get a certification, you're completely lost. And then a client is asking all these questions. You're thinking, how the hell do I program? Where do I go? Oh my God, the machine's taken. Oh my God, I can't do that. Oh, his knee hurts. And you're going through all this shit in your mind. And so you're not even listening. And so if you're not listening, the client is not going to want to work with you, because that's one of the most important things is feel that the professional on the other side of the table is hearing what you're talking about. And then you go do a stability ball, squat, curl, press, and they're internalizing it and thinking like, why am I doing this? Why am I foam rolling? Why am I doing an overhead squat? It's stupid. Your clients, for the most part, they'll know a lot of movement screens are fear-based. At Show Up Fitness, we're pro-movement. So we want our clients to be excited about moving. Whatever exercises you're great at, we're going to incorporate more, and we're going to consistently overload. So again, know the OPT model: phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, phase 5. You're in each one for a month. Strengthen ligaments and tendons in phase 1. Supersets phase 2. Hypertrophy 6 to 12 reps, 0 to 60 seconds rest, 75 to 85% of your 1 rep max. Phase 4 is just going to be heavy, 1 to 5 reps. Then you go to phase 5, which is another form of supersetting, but it's going to be more explosive. So a pull up into a ball slam, a squat into a jump, a bench press into a plyo push-up. So then when you're taking the test and it asks, or it says something about a superset, if it's stability, it'll be phase 2. If it's explosive, it'll be phase 5. If it's really heavy, it's going to be phase 4. If you see 1 to 10 reps or 30 to 45%, that's power, phase 5. When you really understand those acute variables, that's going to be about 30 to 40% of the exam. You will fly through it. We've helped people pass it with our study guide and our live classes. You get 1 per month for $50, or you get 8 for the month, and that's $100. You can do tutoring with me. I will get you to pass this, as I've helped 2,300 people now pass this. And most importantly, a good chunk of them get into the internship, because then you have a higher likelihood of becoming a qualified coach and making this into a career. And that's what we want at Show Up Fitness. We want your passion to be able to get out there and help people safely. Do not compensate weight for form. Never. Do not incorporate novelty in lieu of force production. So what that means is I'm not doing a fucking stability ball squat, curl, press because I'm compromising force production. Why? If you wanted to do it for whatever reason, you do it at the end of a workout. Okay, foam roll, slap each other around, whatever it is. Hopefully you found this helpful. 7th edition. We can get anyone to pass it. Shoot me a DM. Can't wait for all the comments. People get butthurt because they love NASM. I love it. It makes my day. Belt buckle trainer. Boom. Checking out. Have a great day, y'all. Keep smiling.